Go down in the DM.
Hey.
Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and
Okay,
me.
so
Football alert.
okay, can we start the video? Alright. So hi everyone, I'm Nana, aka Every Stylish Girl, and I have a guest with me today. Who are you?
My name's Ishmael Doja, the cozy one.
Why you gotta be so formal? Anywho.
Ishmael the god, the cozy one. Y'all know
He's a character. You guys will get that from the rest of the video. So what we're doing basically today is I asked Ish if he would come and kind of do a questions answer video with me about college relationships, dating, sex. Is it possible when you're at a college? So we're gonna figure that out today. So we have mad questions on my phone. I'm gonna just go through a couple of them. First question for both of us. What are some turn-ons and turn-offs? This is pretty easy.
Turn-offs regarding what exactly?
Oh, sorry, like woman, like in general.
Oh,
It's pretty like general.
You want a woman to be intelligent, for one. That's very important to be able to hold a conversation. I mean, you don't want to talk to a brick. So intelligence is probably the number one thing. Like, you have to be interested in something. We have to share something in common, something that we can be on common ground about.
I agree.
So I would say intelligence first and foremost is a turn on. Turn off.
Oh my.
Oh.
Be nice.
Okay. I would say a major turn off is for you to be closed-minded.
Yeah.
Like, for you to not want to explore new things, whether it be new food, culture.
Culture is the big one. That's for sure.
All of those things matter, and for you just to have an open mind so we can explore, these things with one another. I feel like that's integral to any relationship, or even if you guys are just hanging out in order to build. It's important that you guys keep an open mind to, what both of your interests may be, and then usually that creates like some kind of connectivity between the two people, and then eventually it grows and grows.
100%. I definitely agree with Ish. Another major turn on, I think like Ish said, just being open-minded, that's major because I'm Ghanaian, so I have a lot of like cultural stuff that I like to enjoy. So you gotta be down to like dance to Afro beats if I take you out. And like be open-minded to try some fufu one day and goat meat. Like you gotta be down with it all. Definitely that, and then also just not being selfish. I think a lot of times like we're so focused on ourselves, especially being young adults that we are. We're so driven and we want to do well for ourselves, but yeah, be selfless. Like get to know me and get to know my interests. Don't make it all about you. And then turn off bad breath. Nick, don't come to me with hot breath, nigga. Like I can't do that. Like I can't do that. But I'm kind of sound shallow for this, but you have to have decent style. Like we're adults. Like know how to dress yourself, right? Like that's not okay. So that was long responses, but okay. Next one. What is the difference between talking and dating?
Well, actually,
Break it down.
neither of them mean you're in a relationship. Not technically.
Wait, like what?
Neither talking nor dating means you're in a relationship.
Okay, that's one. But what's the difference?
The difference between talking to someone is you may have met that person once or twice. You guys may have hung out with one another in a group setting, or even if it's just you guys chilling, having over some drinks, and dating is actually taking that person out and engaging with them in public.
Okay.
That's dating, but neither of those two mean you're in a relationship until it's officially determined between the two people.
Okay, ladies, I'm gonna pull something. So when you're dating, are you exclusive? Yes or no?
No.
So you're taking her out on dates. You won't get mad if you see her on another date with another guy. You're not gonna get mad. You're not gonna feel any type of way because you're just dating, which means nothing. Like
it's all about communication. If we communicated that we are not together or we're not in a relationship and we're dating, we're enjoying one's company, as adults, you're allowed to do that with other people.
Okay. So that kind of piggybacks off to another question is when you are in a relationship with someone or you are quote unquote dating that person, how do you go about keeping things low key, especially we're at a predominantly white institute. Well, he was at one, I'm at one currently. So our Black community is very small. So how do you go about keeping things low key? And yes or no, should you or should you not? Like how important is that?
together and we're out and about and we're exchanging public affection for one another. And I mean,
Some
what
people
goes down in
like
a
that, though.
relationship.
Some people like PDA. Like, I want to be able to be out sometimes with my boyfriend. Like, if we're hanging out on campus and kiss him. Like, I don't have a man, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
I don't mind PDA, but I'm not just doing things to get attention.
Oh,
from
yeah.
others. I'd rather share those private moments privately with my significant other. That's just me.
True. That's true.
And I mean, and once you come out in a public sphere, now people are watching you. They're watching your every move. So people might interpret things as something that they're not. It's really that simple. So not that you want to keep a secret relationship or like how people have secret kids and they bring them Thanksgiving. Like,
I know that.
you know what I'm saying? That's just a little joke, little black family joke. Black families at Thanksgiving. Sometimes they pop up with secret kids. Your cousin, you ain't never seen your cousin before. That happens.
Wait, that's real. I'm like, Uncle, you got 5? Who? That's from. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just shut up.
They got 3, 4 baby mothers. And, let's not get into that.
So.
But you don't want to keep it a secret.
Okay.
If the question is asked, you answer honestly. But I'm not. My relationship wouldn't be a social media thing. It wouldn't be. It wouldn't be for you to see. For me put on the show for everyone else to see.
I agree.
I mean, what's going on between you and that other person is between you and that other person. It's really that simple.
And I feel like when you do get other people involved, that's when the drama starts. That's when people start texting so-and-so's phone talking about this. So exclusivity is kind of key, but it's not essential, but it is important. Whatever. So next question, which kind of goes with that. Someone asks like, why do black guys date non-black women? Is it because they do want that like privacy, and if you're dating someone in the black community, it becomes public? Like, why do you guys date non-black women in college?
I love black women, first and foremost. I want to say that. I want to be on record saying that.
I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna cut that part out. It's like no.
Me personally, I haven't really dated white women. I mean, I've been involved. I've been, had conversations, been involved to a degree, but I don't think I'm the right person to answer this question because honestly, I love black women. Not to say I don't love women of different racial backgrounds and different cultures, because I've had experiences with a lot of different types of women, but at the end of the day, I've always been an advocate for black women. And I'm not just saying this for to receive praise. That's not the case. Black women are some of the strongest women. They deal with oppression on 2 levels, not just as black people, but as women. And they, 9 times out of 10, they're the only ones to understand what you're going through on a day-to-day basis, like the many microaggressions we might face in the classroom or on campus. And black women have always been the #1 supporters of black men. And you can just use the Black Lives Matter movement as an example of that. Black women are at the forefront for black bodies that have been disposed of by police. So I don't know why other people do it.
Yeah.
Most of the girls I've been with in life have been black women, so.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. That's a good response.
Thank you.
I respect it. So, next question. Why do people date off campus? What are the difficulties and benefits?
People date off campus because on campus it's hot. Especially when
too hot.
It's really hot. I mean, people want to engage with narratives outside of their own. That's the world we live in. That's why we're so captivated by reality TV, or we're so captivated by the lifestyles of celebrities.
Yeah.
We don't want to live in our own worlds. We want to live in the worlds of others. So people are concerned about your relationship whenever you're on campus. So an off-campus relationship keeps things to a degree of more private, and you guys have more space. You're not seeing each other within classrooms. You're not seeing each other at parties. You can exist on your own.
Yes.
You can exist on your own, and then you can come together and exist together. But see, when you're on campus together, you walk into a function and you might say, I'm here, and then they'll be like, where's so-and-so?
You're like, damn, really? I can't just have a good time?
I can't exist.
Yeah. And what are the difficulties?
Of all campus, the difficulties is not being able to see that person on a daily basis.
Getting expensive if you gotta travel, get that Uber all the time.
Ubering, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, and if they're in another state too, just distance.
Oh, long distances. That's a campus and still getting acclimated with college life, and his schedule or her schedule might be totally different from your schedule, and that's just the reality of it all. And you have to kind of figure out what times work for one another, when you can fit in each other in one another's schedules. So those are some of the difficulties, but there are pros and cons to it, just like there are anything.
Yeah, I agree with all your pros, but I think another con would probably be like just insecurities. I'm just gonna be honest, 'cause I feel like if you go to Georgetown, for example, I'm at GW, how do I know what you're doing? Like, how do I know every night? I'm not saying I want to be with you every single night in your room, but it's just like, how do I know you're not talking to Susie in class or something in math, and now y'all hanging out, and y'all be going to the library together? Like, how do I know all this stuff? I don't. So,
It's really simple.
how is it simple?
Why invest energy in what you don't know? Like,
But
why?
you're young, like, you're still trying to get to know this guy, and he seems great, and then it's like, but you really don't know what he's doing on campus when you're not there.
He doesn't know what you're doing when he's not there. And depending on the type of person it is, like maybe he doesn't want to know. Maybe he's a super jealous person. Maybe you're insecure in that regard, and maybe sometimes not knowing is the best thing. I'm not saying that
That's true too.
a person you'd be a robot if you didn't have some insecurities,
That's
but
true.
just it's no point in wasting energy in what you don't know and looking for what you don't want to find 9 times out of 10.
Preach.
If it's in your face, that's obviously a decision you have to make on the fly. But if the person, to your knowledge, has been doing the best that they can and you've been doing the best that you can, why should you guys be concerned with who you're talking to at that particular time? Because that exchange, there might be nothing suspect about that exchange at all. And I think that's where perception lies. Like, people can create a narrative around you, and people can create this perception just because they saw you having a conversation with someone of the opposite sex or even someone of the same sex. So
Yeah, and I know personally, I'm not going to speak for the rest of the women out there, but I do jump to conclusions sometimes. Which we have to learn to just trust not even our,
that's
you know?
that's Black women's superpower. You guys learn. You guys can jump. Oh my God.
I'm dead. No, we really do. So I'm
Without
like,
explanation.
wait, you were texting, okay, so y'all sleeping together, basically y'all talking, okay, you've been with her for 3 months. Like, we'll literally go into a whole nother story. But you guys aren't perfect, so next question. Y'all not perfect, so why do guys feel the need to tell each other about who they fuck? Cause y'all do that. Y'all do.
Ego is a huge thing, especially as you're growing into a man. You know, when you're coming into college, you're making that transition from boy to man, and so like we're socialized to want to attain this alpha male status, and for some reason we've been socialized to believe that you need to have multiple women, or you need to, in order to be the guy, be that alpha male, like you need to have a group of women that you may be sleeping with or that you can sleep with, just the possibility.
Yeah.
And that's
how it is.
That's how we've been socialized, and I mean, obviously that's going to change because gender roles are changing. Conceptions of masculinity in the last 20 years have changed drastically. So, I mean, that's going to change, but I feel like guys may tell one another as to champion themselves because, I mean, when you're young, you think like that's what's important. You're being the man and being on campus and people recognizing you as such. So, I think that's the reason why a guy might say, "Yo, I did that." You know,
Do you still do that?
Man, everything I did is in the past, but I mean, like we. Just how women have conversations about men have conversations about women, but you don't have to spill every intense
I feel like
detail.
when we do it though, we're like looked at wrongly. I feel like if I was to tell my
Well,
friend,
so
oh, so and so, like I smashed him, all in 1 month, oh, you would have thought I'm not fucking with you no more. I don't want to be seen with you anymore. You know, so.
I think, recently, sexual freedom has been one of the biggest components of the feminist movement. And I think the rules have changed a great deal. I mean, at the end of the day, we we still have been socialized in this gender schema in which a man is supposed to act this way and a woman is supposed to act that way. But, you know, things are changing.
Yeah.
Things are changing. Perceptions are changing. And the constructions of what a male and a woman should be doing has changed a great deal. So, but why we act that way? I mean, girls act that way too. I mean, so it's on both sides.
Always trying to put the blame on us, ladies. You see that? Always, they
never.
can't ever take it. They can't take
Never.
it.
I take criticism. I'm not perfect.
Next question. So, when is the right time for a girl to put out or, like, I guess have sex when she's talking, dating someone? Like, when's the right time? Because, you know, we don't want to seem too fast, right? There's all these levels to it, ladies. There's, like, too fast and then too slow, and then he talks to someone else. So, when's the right time, I guess? Like,
There's no right time. You can't really determine that. It's on a case-by-case basis. I mean, someone can be celibate throughout their relationship and get married. I mean, depending on who that person is, or then somebody can exchange sexual favors with one another very early in their
let's say they're in a relationship. Yeah. So if they're in a relationship,
yeah, I mean,
anytime.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, I mean, it's really up to you. It's up to your personal belief system. It's up to like the way you want to carry yourself. It's up to how you express yourself. Like certain people feel like the need to express themselves by touching one another. Then certain people like receiving gifts from one another, or like sharing experiences. So it depends on what's important to you in terms of expressing your attraction and your love for somebody, or whether or not you love them or like them.
I agree. And if it's just between you and your partner, I feel like the time that you decide to do that is just between you two. So if that's what you guys want, no one has to know. Like,
But
girl,
that's
if it's like y'all been dating for 3 weeks, and that's how you feel towards him, do your thing. Don't go tell everyone and share it to the world. That's how you feel, and that's the connection that you have. Why not? That's your boyfriend, right? That's your man. So do what makes you guys happy.
Be lit, yo. Turn up.
Please stop. So, next question. Why don't guys like dating anymore? Why do they just like Netflix and chilling?
I actually like to Netflix and actually chill. I want to say that first and foremost.
They all do.
I enjoy films. I actually look at films from a critical perspective. So I would like, 9 times out of 10, I want to show you why this film is so great to me, and then we can have a conversation after. So I actually like to Netflix and actually chill.
That's a thing,
Netflix
guys.
and
That's
talk.
actually a thing. People
Netflix.
like to watch movies. I do too.
Netflix and talk. Really, that's the thing. Maybe we gotta remove chill, because chill has meant so many things coming up. Originally, like when you tell a girl, come over and chill, there are a lot of notions that come with chilling. But yeah, I think maybe we should change the narrative of Netflix.
What would you say? Like,
Why do guys do that?
no, I'm saying, what would you change it to?
Netflix and have a conversation about the film.
Mm.
Sounds catchy.
Mm.
It won't go on t-shirt.
If it does, he said it first right here. Is it, all right. I like that though. That's true. Like some people really just want to enjoy the movie and show you what it's about, and then have a reflection after. You know, like.
That's how I am with most movies. I may be a weirdo myself, but I don't like shitty movies. So there you go.
Oh, next question. Should a guy make the first move?
9 times out of 10, a guy doesn't make the first move. I know I say 9 times out of 10 a lot. I'm just creating my own statistics.
I'm like, wait, can you back that up?
No, I can't. You know what I'm saying? We care about tweets, not facts in this generation. You know, so. But yeah, I think a guy has to initiate most of the time. I think just but as I said, the way we've been socialized over the years, like guys feel as though they have to make that first step, and girls have been conditioned to wait for guys to make that step.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like
a girl doesn't want to put themselves out there.
Yeah,
so
and I can't tell if he's interested until he says something. Like I know I may be interested, but yeah, like I'm not gonna have myself look stupid. Like I don't want to look stupid, so I'm just like, all right, let him at least like slide in the, you know, or something. Like you gotta.
Go down in the DM.
Hey. But I have to know like how you're feeling, what's on your mind. I don't want to just exactly like put my emotions out there. We take a little bit to heal, you know. It's not.
It takes time. I mean, guys, that's an argument in itself. Guys don't ever heal. There are times that you don't ever heal.
Really?
And that's why they do behave a certain way, so they can not acknowledge that they were heartbroken. God, because you know, I mean, as men, the way that masculinity is, like, you don't ever want to admit that you're hurting. You want to, I'm on to the next one. I'm not really thinking about shorty anymore, and like that's the way
They
that
do be acting like
everything is. It's nature and nurture. Like we were born with these biological aspects of our bodies, and then like we've been nurtured to think a certain way. So we have to defy those perceptions and the way we've been conditioned in order to, you know, grow organically, really. So that's just the way it is for now, and things are changing. And we're changing that by just having a conversation in itself. That's the first step.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with you, Ish. That was good. Next question is, do you feel like you can find quote unquote your soulmate in college? Is that a thing? Like,
I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know. I mean, you would have to define soulmate.
I was just about to say that. Like, you would have to break that down. So I don't think I can technically answer that question. I feel like you can. There's a possibility of moving a relationship past college, right? Like, you could date someone in college for 4 years. After you graduate, you can still continue to be with that person, right? Like, it is definitely possible you can find that person that you could connect to.
It can be difficult, but you can. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know as far as like if you can find. But back in the day, though, everyone used to get married. Like, you would really find your soulmate in college, I guess. Like, I mean, the person who you would technically marry and have kids with, it was possible and it was done back in the day. So.
But back in the day, that's a whole different time. Economically, things are different. The male and female roles are a lot different back then. Like, women relied on men to be the financial backing in the relationship a lot of the time, and the culture has changed because women are more educated than men in most cases.
It's always been that way, though. I'm kidding.
It's probably happened.
We just didn't have access to get.
But no,
to it,
I'm just saying, like, there are more women on the college campus than there are men, especially black women versus black men.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 out of 9 black males are locked in the federal prison system. So, sadly.
It's terrible.
So all of that, there, you know, everything is interconnected, whether we like to admit it or not. You know what I'm saying? Like the black familiar structure back then is different now because things have changed culturally.
Next question: how does long distance relationships work in college? Ish here is in one, so I thought this would be a perfect question for him. How do you make it work? And then I'll get to the second part after that one.
Oh man, long distance is tough. Long distance is tough. I mean, not having that person around you, FaceTiming is not the same as that person being next to you, and it's tough. And depending on like what worlds you are entering, because I'm a young adult and I'm applying to grad school, and I'm gonna be constantly on the move and doing the things I need to do to progress further in life. And it really depends on where you're at in life. Like, are you guys on the same page? Have you been communicating? And it can get tough because someone can graduate school and she can go over to Africa and help underprivileged youth, and you could be in California working towards your master's.
Yeah.
Or you can be in 2 different cities,
2 different countries.
2 different countries.
Yeah.
And that can be difficult. No matter who the people are, that can be very difficult. And you guys have to communicate and come to an understanding. But long distance, no matter what, from my experience, and I know from the experience of others, can be difficult. Yeah.
But it is possible.
Anything is possible. Truthfully, anything is possible. It depends on the 2 people, and like I said, the lines of communication have to be open, and we have to continue to be open-minded in how we move forward, because
Yeah.
But anything can work. It just, the people have to work. It's really that simple. It's really,
Okay.
it's not
It's
something
up
that
to
we
you.
can generalize.
Yeah, it's really up to that individual to make that choice for themselves.
Exactly. Because 9 times out of 10, why do I keep saying 9 times out of 10? Stop saying that. Maybe that's like a nervous tick 9 times out of 10. But no, sometimes you have to come to terms with the relationship is not going to be the same during that period of time. Some people opt for open relationships. Some people like come to an understanding, because it's hard on a day-to-day life to just keep up with somebody when they're not even around for you guys to have face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
So it's all dependent on how you guys want to communicate moving forward.
And what are some tips that you have? I'm not in one, guys. That's why I'm not really speaking on this.
Tips.
Communication, right?
Communication, even though that's such a broad term, but talking, checking in with that person.
Every day or like?
It doesn't have to be every day.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be every day.
Okay.
But phone calls, because texting can get a bit robotic at times.
That's for sure.
So you want to hear that person's voice. You want to get a sense of how they're doing, and sometimes text don't properly demonstrate
Oh my
how a
god,
person
yeah.
might be
Especially if you're not
feeling.
a strong texter.
So when you talk on the phone, FaceTime, make trips to see one another.
You can't be FaceTiming for 4 months, guys.
No.
Come on.
No, within 4 months, you have to see each other at least 3 times at least.
I agree. You gotta do something. You can't just.
It can get tough regardless, though.
That doesn't work. Let's see. I know I skipped a bunch of questions at the beginning. Let's see. Oh, wait. Did I already say how do you make a relationship suitable beyond your college years?
A lot of those questions were intertwined with one another.
Yeah.
So I may have answered one.
I think that's good. Let's see. Do we have any last minute things to say? Like, if you're really strong gun hole and like you want a relationship in college and that's what you want to do, like that's awesome, but first and foremost, focus on yourself, because if you're focused on yourself, that person who you're interested in or who you want a relationship with will come and see that and be like, damn, like she's doing her thing, he's doing his thing, like that's who I'm trying to mess with, like that's who I'm trying to be on a level with, like mentally, and physically and whatever it may be. So do your thing, focus on yourself in college. The right person will come along, even if it's like your senior year, junior year, freshman year. Hey, you never know, like you'll find that person, it'll work out. Just focus on yourself. That's very important. Any last words?
I think college is about exploration, and I think as to piggyback off what she was saying, you have to focus on yourselves and explore, not just in terms of relationships and people, but like who do you want to be? What do you want to do? What is your purpose? And sometimes you getting caught up in a relationship can deter you depending on the person you are.
Yeah.
So it's not like I recommend like just go out there and be together. Well, for both men and women, because there's things you have to figure out about yourself still, and whether or not you're ready for a relationship. 9 times out of 10, my statistic that I've been creating.
But that's true. 9 times you're not, right? Like
you're not.
You're not.
You don't know, because you don't know that person too. Like think about when people get married, they at least go through. Back in the days, they went through like a courtship period.
Yeah, for sure.
They would try to get to know one another. In a college campus, it's easy to get caught up in that person because you're young and you don't really understand like the different aspects of love. Love is more than just a physical, mental or emotional thing. It's a financial thing. It's so many aspects of it that we fail to realize as young men and young women. Yeah. And so I would say explore. If you find that person, cool. But there's nothing wrong with not finding that person. Like you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
Bro.
You have the rest of your life, and I think you get so caught
18
up.
18 to 22, you should be lit.
That's the time of your life.
Litigation. Shout outs to litigation. Shout outs to my college days. I miss college. I love college. But yeah, take these years to have fun. Find
Get to know yourself.
Be lit. Turn
Enjoy.
up. Take.
Because you won't get these moments. Like you really won't.
Never again.
Never again.
Y'all want to pay rent? $900 a month. Y'all ready for that?
Stop. Don't scare him like that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to leave Ish's Instagram down below and all his information. Follow us on Instagram. If you have any questions, reach out. He has amazing advice. Hopefully, he does some poetry. He does some type of writing. So I'm going to leave his blog as well, all his information down below. Hit him up if there's anything else. But thank you for watching. Bye, guys.
Deuces.